Good morning and sliding into afternoon. Judy Allan here, San Antonio, Texas with Adventurous Stamping. Today it's going to be a stack and shuffle, and we're going to see how well we're going to step it up. It's easy to start simple with it. Let's see what else we're going to do with it. Alright, because it's all about using different tools to create some creativity there. So let's go down the hands and let's get going. So what I started off with is we're going to do the stack and shuffle, and I've got the measurements right here. We're starting off with a 4 by 5 1/4 and so forth. So, but I wanted to show you, it's all about the paper, right? And how you're going to sit there and stack and shuffle. So what I try to do is find a combination of light, dark, light, dark. I don't always able to do that, but I try. In this particular case, all four of these papers, if you can tell, have gold foil in them. Let's see if you can see the second one. Anyway, they all have gold foil and they're very, very pretty. Okay? And we're going to actually put it on the screen. In this particular case, this suite came with paper. It also came with some peel-off type stickers, as well as die cutting and a stamp set. So I've already done some of it ahead of time, but I want to at least explain to you where I got it from. And I'm using actually garden green cardstock and garden green ink for my stamping. So let's start off here first with, I've already cut my paper, but I just want to show you how it starts off, because it's the key important thing. And I always shuffle my paper around ahead of time to see what I think I'm going to like. Alright, so basically what we have here is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch paper. Alright, now you have to make sure to look at your paper that is directional. I think every one of these that I've done is directional. So if you look at what I just showed you from the leftovers of a 6 by 6 that I cut, this one's not directional, but you got the deer that's directional, you got this that's directional, the stripes, as well as the trees, pine cones. Actually, they're pine cones and trees. They're all directional, so you have to keep that in mind when you're cutting your paper and make sure they're all going the same direction. So this is 4 by 5 1/4 is what I start off with. I cut it right down here at 2 3/4. And then on the left side over here, I came down 3 inches and cut at the 3 inch mark. And then on this side, I came down 2 inches to cut that. Alright? So I'll get you started. You can do that with any 4 sheets of paper, and it makes 4 quick cards. Now here comes the shuffle. On the first one here, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the top one. I'm shuffling one down and over. This one, I'm going to take the top 2, and I'm going to shuffle them behind. Okay? Because it's a stack. That's where you can stack and shuffle. And this one, you're taking the top 3. So each time you go, you're doing one more, right? Okay, so this is how our card's going to look. So that's what makes it so easy. So we know card number 1. We're just going to take the top off of each one of these. I'm just going to lay them down here a second, so we get them going. Alright, so that's going to be card number 1. Alright? And move my stacks right over here aside for you. And I'm just going to go ahead and get them laid out. So just so you get an idea, here comes card number 2. Right? We'll have to actually, get it all taped down, but I'm getting a layout for you so you can see how this works. So all you have to do is take the top of each of your stacks, and I'm just put that to the side, and I'm just keep on going. So here's the top one here, top one here, top one here, and top one here. And again, I'm going to set it aside. So you can see how at the end we have 4 cards, because we did 4 sheets of paper. Put this down here, and they're all going to look. They're going to look similar, but they're all going to be different, right? Okay, so you can see where I've got my 4 cards and where we're going. Okay, so let's at least get these down, and we'll start telling and explaining about some tags. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get this down. Now this has got beautiful paper on the back side too, that you could just as easily, if you wanted to flip it over. Right? It's your card. You can do it any way you want. The main thing is when you cut your measurements, is that you sit up there and you do your stack and shuffle to get your different look, right? It's the main thing. And then when I go to put it on, then I put it on correctly. So that's the main thing. So I always just get at least one started, right? Because if you get here, it's going to line up right here, and I know this is going to line up right here down at the bottom. And we know we're going to have a tag over it. But you can see there's just as beautiful paper I went for the foiled side because I like the foil, but it doesn't mean that you can flip it over and do it the other way either. This is just some quick, easy ways to make some cards. Like for me, for example, I'm working on getting some cards out this week for the kids in the hospital. And I gave away most of my other cards. I have some cards already made for the kids. And see, here's some trees in the back here. So this would have been just as pretty too. So anyway, I already have got some kids cards for the kids. But I want to do some more, right? Because there's several of you out there that are helping me out, and you're going to be sending me some cards. And thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm going to keep on making some until I get everybody's mailed out. So even these, I could send it, and these could be for the older kids, right? Because we think of little children lots of times when we think of kids in the hospital, but you know what? Those 16-year-olds are also almost right in that same area. So there we go. We're just going to put it right here. And there we go. All right. Let's go for the tags. So the tags I have cut out. So I did a die cut. This is a die cut that came with a set, with a suite. Okay. And you can see it right here. And I already pre-stamped it with a stamp called Deck the Halls from the stamp set. Now, this is one. The other thing that I did is when I put it on here, it looks fine. I'm not saying that it doesn't look bad or anything else. And I could have just stopped there. But I really wanted to pick up the richness of all these colors. So then what I did is I went ahead and I used a punch. And I punched out this color. It's called Crushed Curry. And because I wanted to really make this white pop, okay, when I go ahead and put it on here. Because if you can see the difference, there's where I added the Crushed Curry. And if you're out there, please say hello, because I'll try to say hello back if I can. I see that somebody's there, but I'm not sure at the moment. My techie's not here to keep me on my A game. Alright, so, but you can see the difference. See where I've gone and I've just added some gold there, and it really picks it up, because the Crushed Curry is going to pick up the gold in each of all this. It's going to complement it, right? Here's where I could have done this here, which would have been fine. But I wanted to go and give it a little bit more richer. Okay, so basically I took a punch, combined it with a die, so that we could come up with something different. So I've already put adhesive here, and you'll see the berries there. I was showing you a little bit earlier. I'm just going to put it right here. And this is none other than, I was showing you from right here, that came with a suite. The suite includes the dies, the cuts, the stickers. It comes with paper, everything that you need to create, right? So I'm going to do this. So that's all I'm going to do right there. And the only other thing I'm going to add is some bling. Now this set did come with some gold stars, but I didn't want to use gold stars with this. There's some other things I might want to add gold stars to. I'm just going to put it right here, just to give it that little extra gold touch, just like we give the others. Okay, so that is card 1. And we're just going to keep on cranking it out, right? Let me get some of this out of the way, so if you want to see the measurements, you can. Alright, here comes number 2. Same thing, we're just going to lay it out. And you'll have to tell me, so I did do each of the tags differently, just so you could tell me your opinion. Alright, let me see if I can get my tape runner going here. Just so you can see the difference of just doing something different, even with the tags can be different, right? It's all about choices, so you'll have to let me know which one you like best. So I'm going to do the same thing I just did. Leave all my stuff out of the way there. And we're just going to line them up, right? So we're just going to keep on. Like I said, it would have been just as easy to sit there and flip these over and use these other sides. Would have made beautiful cards too, which I may. I have extra paper, so I can do that. But I'm just showing you right now. So we all know that already that the shorter pieces go on top, right? Especially on these little bitty pieces. Again, we want to make sure when we put these on here, we watch the direction and what we're doing. And I like to leave a little bit of green. I don't have to. I could butt these up like this. I just always, for whatever reason, I like the stained glass look of a little bit of color in between. It's just a personal preference, right? It's nothing you have to do. You could do either or. It's up to you. And the same thing here. Just we're doing with stripes, so it doesn't matter. It's already cut one way, so you're only going to do it one way. But I just try to make sure I line up everything, right? So I try to make sure I line up the bottom here, the sides, and the sides over here. Now this one looks like my side over here is a little off. So I'm going to gently pull this up and tug it over. Get a little bit straighter look. Okay. Same thing here. I did some different tags. I have this one here. I did the berries again. I have this one here where I added the deer. I might add the deer. It's really going to pick up on the deer. I wasn't sure if I was going to like the deer or not. But I was playing around, right? Just trying out some different things. Again, the deer was a sticker with a set. But I will still add some bling, right? Just because it's got a deer on it doesn't mean I can't add bling. So we're going to add some bling. I just use my fingernail this time, I think. Yeah, or not. Okay. So this time I'm going to try to add just a little bit because this is a little more vacant up here, right? So I'm just going to add a couple of these guys here. And there's really already a lot of gold. I'm just going to add one smack over here. Okay? So there we go. There's card number 2. Alright, let's go to card number 3. Right? It's all about doing just the same thing. The only thing that we're changing now is the position of the paper. And the tags are going to be different only because I made the tags different. If you've watched me in the past do this on other kinds of paper, usually on the tags I keep them all the same, right? Because it's just quick and easy. But in this particular case, because they were stickers, it wasn't that much difficult, right? The biggest challenge I had, it was just making sure on all this directional paper that I keep it all going one way. So while I said the holly paper here didn't look like directional, it really is because all the stems are like going downward. So it really is a directional piece of paper. So all this is, now if I'd flipped it over, I'm not sure that it would have been directional. Some of it would have, but not all of it. So it's whatever your preference is. It's just things to keep out for, look out for, right? Because it depends how much paper, if you have any extra paper left over that you can go back and recreate or not. In this particular case, I have some paper left over. I'm just not sure how much I have left over since I'm using it. So I actually saved some time by going ahead and having my labels already done, punched out. But what I usually do, like I did today, is if I'm going to have paper out and I'm going to be punching or die cutting, I always just do a few extras just in case I want to use it later. Alright, so here's the 2 I have left. I have this one here that I just used 2 of the stickers, and here is one that I actually cut it up. I think I'm going to go with this one right here. I actually took this as a long piece right here and I dissected it and make it smaller pieces so I could just tuck it in and make it happen, right? Okay, now I'll just put it right here, and then I'll just put my little bling on here. I'm trying to see if I could do it with just my fingernail. Now this has already got a lot of stuff going on, right? So I'm just going to put it right there. Just right there, so it's in the center of everything, of all the paper and all. Okay, so that's card number 3. Card number 4. So if you just were by yourself and you weren't talking to anybody and you're just like whipping these out, these take no time at all, right? The main thing is just not to get distracted when you're laying down your directional paper. You can get it off, it's just may not be able to be usable, or it may be, just depending. So I do love this technique because it's one of those things you don't have to think about a design. I think the biggest thought is that you have to think about, all right, which tag or what's the background paper. So you may say, how did I decide which color paper? Well, I first look at the different colors in there already, and I just pulled out all the greens I had, right? And when I sat there and put the lighter green next to it, it did nothing. It just sort of like the paper just sort of blended with a lighter green. So then I thought, well, let me go darker. So I did try to go with what we call shaded spruce. It's a bluish dark green. It's very, very rich in color. But when I put it next to this paper, it just didn't look right. Okay, and I knew the red, I knew I didn't want to do the reddish color, because I knew the green, I felt the green would sit there and pull out these colors much better. So that's how I ended up with the garden green, because it was the one green that was really, didn't sort of wash out or fade away the colors of the paper. It really brought out the richness and vibrancy of the paper, and that's what I was looking for. So that's, you sort of sometimes just play around. You just take some paper and hold it next to it. It also gives you suggestions too when you get these. So when you get kits and so forth, or paper, it always has on back some suggestions of colors. So let me just get my bling on here, and then see, we will be done with our 4 cards. How cool is that? So this one, I'm just going to go ahead and put some bling here. So see, I'm not even consistent where I put bling, right? It's just going to depend on what I've got going. But we always do it in odd numbers. So this part up here, I'm going to do. So there we go. I've got 4 easy, ready to go cards going out to somebody. So you'll have to let me know which one you like the best, because the paper's all the same. I changed, so you can see I've got 4 different tags. Looky there, 4 different tags. How about that? So there you go. There is your quick and simple stack and shuffle cards. Easy way to make 4 cards anytime, whether it's Christmas time like right now, or any other paper or season. It's all about just getting the combinations. I usually try to use a light, rotate between light and dark paper, because when you lay it out, it really makes it stand out that way, the different colors and everything. I love gold fold paper, so if I can use gold fold paper, I'll use it. So I hope you enjoy this. We'll have the cards posted out there on Instagram and Pinterest, and you can also see the video also on YouTube. It'll be posted later as well too, and it's got the measurements right there, and we'll include those again and other remarks on YouTube. So I hope that you liked it, that you'll share and watch us and follow us here on Facebook, also on YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest. It's all about creating, sharing, and giving. So go out there, create, share, and give a card to someone, all right? Be blessed. Have a wonderful week. Look forward to seeing you next week on Keep It Simple or Snap It Up. Bye.